soul is whole and true. This is God's gift to you. May your soul sing loud and free, 'cause you are a gift to me. My soul holds a holy spark. You can even see it in the dark. Your soul is holy too. Yes, this is what I see in you. Elohai neshama shenata tabi. Elohai neshama shenata tabi tehorahi. Each soul one of a kind,
a little piece of the divine.
When you love what you create,
your path will illuminate.
Each soul has an offering, a little gift that it can bring. So sing your song both near and far. The world needs you just as you are. Elohai neshama shenata tabi. Elohai neshama shenata tabi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenata tabi. Elohai neshama shenata tabi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenata tabi. Elohai neshama shenata tabi tehorahi.
Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav. We say shalom aleinu. Ve'akol, al-kol Yisrael, ve'akol Yoshvei Tevel. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav.
Shabbat Shalom. Good evening, everyone. For safety and courtesy, please silence your cell phones. Before the service begins, I'd like to direct your attention to the emergency exits and other safety features overhead. Look for the red or green exit lights over the doors. There are exits on each side of the bima, behind the curtains, so behind me. There are also exits at the back end of the social hall, so that's behind you. At the side of the sanctuary are the exits to the main doors through which you entered, and exit doors on either side of the lobby. There's a fire extinguisher and AED near the water fountain in the hall, and another fire extinguisher inside the doors to the sanctuary where we all entered. Please look now and find the exits nearest to you. You may also want to look at the safety card in the seat backs in front of you or the safety cards placed on your chairs. In the unlikely event that we must evacuate, we'll meet at the southwest corner of the parking lot away from the building. Thank you for your attention. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's wonderful to be here with you. I have, those of you who are regulars know that you haven't seen me for a while. I've been.
Should we introduce you?
Hi.
There are some faces here that I don't think actually know who you are.
Well, I'm Rabbi Jonathan, and that's Cantor Paul. And
welcome, everyone.
I've been, I had COVID, and then I was away, and different things, so it's good to be here. It's good to be here with all of you. We're going to start with a melody to get us into the Shabbat spirit.
As you will see in a number of times during our service, your participation is not only invited but essential in order to create a Kehila Kedosha, a holy community, which we use music and song to serve as a catalyst, kind of a lubricant for allowing that to happen. And so this one, the words are really challenging. Yadadadai is, I don't think I need to ask you to repeat that, but if you need help with that, just turn to someone who's been here before and they should be able to do that. So it goes like this. Your turn, join me. Your real quiet now.
Shabbat Shalom. And it's important to breathe, to take a moment and to just, and to be in this space with one another on this Shabbat, in this Abraham Joshua Heschel called Shabbat a castle in time, right? It's an opportunity to create holiness in time, just to pause and to connect to our deepest selves, to each other, to the Holy One. What a gift to take this time each week. On this Shabbat, we also have a modified shul band with us on the Shabbat, and we have participation from Sharon Hadassah on this Shabbat, and in a moment they'll come up and help us to kindle our Shabbat lights, and we'll also have a Yortzeit Memorial tribute to Gabrielle Silton, who contributed so much to our community through the years in so many different ways, which I'll mention a few of later. So lots of things, and then for you to each add your spirit and your energy to this service on the Shabbat. And for those of you joining us online, welcome as well. And don't be embarrassed. Sing out loud at home too, wherever you are. We'll hear the vibrations of that voice as it comes down. So we're going to turn to page 2 in our Siddur. And I'm going to invite Sharon Hadassah to come on up.
This is a poem called Entering Shabbat by Maya Conrad. Oh, we got more people coming.
If anyone belongs to Hadassah,
Rabbi,
come on out.
Okay. Entering Shabbat by Maya Conrad. As we enter this sacred time of Shabbat, may Adonai help us put aside our stresses of daily life and absorb the calm of this holy moment. As Shabbat begins, may Adonai revive our ability to feel the infinite potential this ceasing affords us to regather our scattered selves. In the hallowed space Shabbat creates, may Adonai refresh our connections to our loved ones and community, expanding the threads which bind us together.
Please rise if you're able, comfortably to do so.
You go wait.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kireshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu leha echad likne shel Shabbat.
You may be seated. We turn to pages 20 and 21. And before we enter into Lecha Dodi, it is our custom here at Temple Beth Israel to take a moment and reflect on the week. In the Siddur, there's actually a psalm for each day of the week. In our abbreviated service, we don't do each of those psalms, but we model that structure by just going back to last Shabbat and spending a moment on each day on its challenges and on its blessings, to breathe, and then we'll come back together as we welcome Shabbat with Lecha Dodi on pages 20 and 21. Hazarat HaShavua, review of the week. Lecha Dodi.
It's a little call-in response. Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi.
Likrat Kala.
Likrat Kala.
Pnei Shabbat.
Pnei Shabbat.
Nikabela. It's not as hard as it sounds. Nikabela. Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi.
Likrat Kala.
Likrat Kala.
Pnei Shabbat.
Pnei Shabbat.
Nikabela.
Nikabela.
Lecha Dodi. Likrat Kala. Pnei Shabbat. Nikabela. Lecha Dodi. Likrat Kala. Pnei Shabbat. Nikabela. Shambo v'zachor b'dibor echad. Tishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad. Shmo echad. V'shem tiferet v'litchila. Lecha Dodi. Likrat Kala. Pnei Shabbat. Nikabela. Lecha Dodi. Likrat Kala. Pnei Shabbat. Nikabela. Likrat Shabbat. Lechuven elcha. Ki mekor. Haracha. Merosh mikedem. Nesucha. So maaseh b'makshavat chila. Lecha Dodi. Likrat Kala. Pnei Shabbat. Nikabela. Lecha Dodi. Likrat Kala. Pnei Shabbat. Nikabela. Hit oreri. Kivarech kumiori kivayumi shidaberi kivor Adonai alayich nigla lecha dodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
If you're able, please rise and face the doors. We're on verse 9.
Oh, Ile Shalom, Ateret Bala, Gam B'Simcha Uvtzola, Toch Hamonei Am Segula, Voi Chala, Voi Chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
We continue on page 26 with Chatzi Kaddish.
It kadal ve'it kadash shemei Rabbah
Amen.
ve'almadi frach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei ve'chayechon yom echon uv'chayechon ben Yisrael bagala bagala uvizman karim ve'meru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mivara le'olam u'lolei almaya yitbarach ve'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudesha v'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran ve'alma Ve'imeru, Amen.
Baruch Hu, our call to prayer is on page 28.
Oh, am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Do you really understand? Am I awake? Am I aware? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed le'olam va'ed Yadadai dai dai 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 Yada die die die, yada die die die, yada die die die.
Last three lines in the Hebrew, page 30, El Chai V'Kayam.
El Chai V'Kayam, Tamidim L'Chaleinu L'Olam Va'en, Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch Shemo.
Amariv. Aravi.
Amen. Page 34 and 35. Join in Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Lu, lu, lu,
You may be seated. Page 37. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. We continue with Laman Tizkaru, the bottom Hebrew paragraph on page 36.
Leman tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem l'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
Emet. Page 40. We turn to our song of freedom, Michamocha, as we move through the sea in each of our personal lives too. It reminds us of our freedom from Egypt, but all the narrow places that we encounter in our lives. And when we begin to come out on the other side, we sing in joy and in thanks a song of redemption and of rejoicing, as the Israelites sang at the shore of the sea. Page 40.
kamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar b'hakodesh nora tehilot hosei fele malechutecha ra'u vanecha bukei hayam Moshe uMiriam Zeli anu yamru Adonai imlo lelam va'ed. Everybody now. Yalla la 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 Yalla la 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 yalla la 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 yalla la 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 Ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 Ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 Adonai imlo lelam va'ed Adonai et Yaakov ugalo mi'ad chazak mimenu Baruch ata Adonai
Baruch Shema.
Gal Yisrael.
Amen. We ask the Holy One to watch over us and to protect us, to let us lie down with a sense of shalom, of wholeness, and rise up with a sense of passion and of mission each day, l'chaim, to life, fully to life. Hashkivenu, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim ufros alenu sukan shlomecha ushmor tzedenu uvoenu ufros alenu sukan shlomecha Ushmor tzedenu uvoenu Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Amen. Page 44, we give thanks for Shabbat, the opportunity it gives us to, as I said at the beginning, to breathe. We join in singing Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We're going to turn to page 46. We'll sing together Adonai Svatayv Tiftach and then turn the page, and Dina Lane will lead us in our Avot Ve'ima Hope prayer, and then we'll continue after that with our other prayers of our Amidah. I'd like to invite Dina to come forward, and we turn again to page 46, and as we're singing Adonai Svatayv Tiftach, when you're feeling ready to stand, you'll stand, and at the end you're not feeling ready to stand and you're able to do so, I'll just have you stand.
Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatay Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Yagi. Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Satay Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Yagin. Ufi Yagin Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana svatai tiftach. Ananananana ufiagi teilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana svatai tiftach. Ananananana ufiagi tehilatecha. Anananana Adonai. Anananana svatai tiftach. Anananana ufiagid tehilatecha.
If you're able to rise comfortably, please do so. We continue on page 48.
Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah El HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Hasadim Tovim V'Koneh HaKol V'Zocher Hasdei Avot V'imaot Umevi Geula Lifnei Pneihem Leman Shemo Be'achava Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai Mechaye hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechakel hayim v'hesed, mechaye hakol v'rakamim rabim. Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Micha mocha bal gevurot umido melah melach memid umechaye umatzmiya Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lehayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol. Thank you.
Page 52. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Baruch Shemo.
Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen.
Please take a few moments for silent prayer for the text of your own heart. When you're through, you may be seated.
Bottom of page 62.
Oseh shalom bimroma, V'yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Oseh shalom bimroma, V'yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimroma, V'yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Oseh shalom bimroma, V'yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. So this week we have one of my favorite Torah portions, although you can say that about a lot of them. Just going to share, I look at one piece of it, and I'm going to read a piece and then skip a piece and then read a piece. But it's all from Genesis. The part I'm reading is all from Genesis chapter 28, verses 10 through 19. Jacob left Beersheba and set out for Haran. He came upon a certain place and stopped there for the night, for the sun had set. Taking one of the stones of that place, he put it under his head and lay down like a pillow. He lay down in that place, and he had a dream. A stairway or a ladder, sulam, was set on the ground, and its top reached to the sky, and angels of God were going up and down. Then there's a little break, some other things in the torsion, and then it says, Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, wow, the Holy One was in this place, and I did not know it. Shaken, he said, Ma norah hamakom hazeh. How awesome is this place? This is none other than the abode of God. That is the gateway to heaven. Ma norah hamakom hazeh. How awesome is this place? Yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh v'anochi lo yadati. God is surely in this place, and I did not know it. I'm going to focus on two things, and altogether it's still going to be pretty brief, but here we go. I'm going to start with the end, then I'm going to come back to the ladder. How often do we miss that achen moment in the Hebrew here, which is wow, right? How often do we miss that moment that we can say, Jacob's acknowledging God was in this place, but I did not know it, right? How often do we miss the holy potential in a moment, or the holiness that's there that we're just not paying attention to? The Midrash tells a story that when the Israelites were crossing the sea, a couple of them didn't see the miracle around them because they were complaining about the mud on their sandals. How often do we get stuck, right, with our heads down, with our complaining about the mud on our sandals or whatever else is going on, and miss the achen? Wow. Mano ra hamakom hazeh. How awesome is this place? Yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh v'anochi lo yadati. And I did not know it. God was in this place, and I did not know it. The ladder. There's some very interesting ideas about the ladder here. Angels going up and down. I love the ladder as a metaphor for what it takes, how we have to be in our lives, which is that we have to kind of, our heads and our feet, our heads need to, and our vision needs to stretch high into the heavens of where we try to reach, and yet our feet need to be firmly planted on the ground, right? That we're able to move forward and try to implement the things that we want to do, right? We can't just be up at the top of the ladder. We have to be at the bottom, and if you watch the angels, you read the angels here, they're moving, right? They go up and they go down. They go up and they go down. There's this sense that they go up to receive their inspiration and they come down, maybe to do their work, right? Whatever that might be, and that we need that in our lives. In Toldot Yitzchak, a midrash on the book of Genesis, it says, an answer to the intention of the ladder is that they tell us that the malachim, the angels, don't have enough energy from God when God created them. But rather, at every moment, they need to receive hashba'ah, influence, energy from God. And that is what it means when it says the malachim are going up. They go up to gain inspiration, to gain hashba'ah, to gain energy, right? And then they go down with their hashba'ah, right? They bring it down into the world. And so it may be for us too that we need to be conduits for that divine energy, right? And bring it into the world, that God's blessings enter into the world through us, that we need that energy, that divine energy to come into us, and we need to be, then bring that energy down into the world. In a book called The 5 Books of Miriam, a feminist Torah commentary, and there's an article there on the symbolism of ladders by Ellen Frankel. She writes, first quoting the rabbis, according to our sages, the sulam, Jacob's ladder, was the stairway leading from the temple altar to God. But others teach that it was Mount Sinai, since the numerical value of sulam and the numerical value of Sinai are the same in Hebrew. Still others say that the ladder represents Jewish history with its many ups and downs. And others thought that the ladder represents an individual's life history, the times that we reach the heights and the times that we fall to the depths. There's another comment that she brings in. We need to remember that ladders lead not only from earth up to heaven, but also from heaven down to earth. As we leap up to reach the bottom rung of the heavenly ladder, God lowers the ladder to meet our outstretched arm. And when we cannot even grasp that lowest rung, she who dwells within reaches down and meets us where we are. And finally, something that maybe some of you grew up with, something that our grandparents and great-grandparents maybe offer us, our bubbies offer. For many centuries, many women in Eastern Europe, Jewish women in Eastern Europe, baked ladders into their chalot for special occasions. For For the meal just before Yom Kippur, they would bake a ladder into the challah so that our prayers for forgiveness should go up the ladder, up to heaven. And for Shavuot, to remember how Moses climbed all the way up Mount Sinai to receive Torah. So the ladder has so much richness to it here, so many different ways for us to see it. May we be inspired as we move up and down the ladder of life, and may we be conduits for that divine energy. May we find wisdom, and may we here on earth use all of that energy and that wisdom to bring healing and compassion and hope to our world. Shabbat Shalom. We turn now to page 253 as we join in words of healing. For those of you online, can mention those that you're thinking about in the chat, and for those of you here, you'll have the opportunity to share names of those who are in your hearts.
O Holy One, who blessed our mothers, who blessed our fathers from ancient days, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yimalei Rachamim Aleihem, Lehachzikam Ulrapeotam, Veishlach Lahem Refuat Shlema, Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, B'tok Sha'ar Cholei Yisrael. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names.
We ask for blessings upon Rebecca Gilman, Hannah Fields Austin, Sue Tobak, Rosin Lefkowitz, Helen Weinfeld, Pam Poliakoff, Connie Shapiro, Kathy Blumenfeld, Caitlin Antrim, Jennifer Rudin, Brad Holland, Serena Postal, Robert Strober, Marilyn Lubarsky, Ellery Einstein, Patricia Kramer, Joan Morse, Nomi Kravitz, Craig Sachs, Myra White, Lori Snyder, Charity Razorday, Mike Klein, Lily Morrison, Barbara Fass, Joel Beasy, Burton Gershman, David Bush, Howard Bush, Lawson Spicer, Mark Fenton, Gloria Foster, Rita Warshaw, Ira Quatcher, Robert Gerard, Stephen Arts, Tadell Harris, Brenda Found Gerard, Ron Friedlander, Harvey Sherman, Jan Marcus, Fred Fable, Steve Sage, Marla Fregosa, Candy Stevens, Eva Laxon, Martin Cole, Noah Teague, Al Shapiro, Charles Nelson, Jeff Nelson, Ron Resnick, James Stead, Max Shriva, and Harriet Shaw. And
HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleichem. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names.
Well, it's hard to believe, but it is December. Isn't that hard to believe? It's hard for me. I don't know. Do we have people here who have December birthdays? Yay, we have at least a few December birthdays. I need a few volunteers to help us, tall-ish volunteers. They don't have to be tall, but tall-ish, to hold our birthday canopy.
And we need those who do have December birthdays to kind of gather towards the back of the room there. Hold it right there, 70. Oh, you're going to be you're a holder. She's tallish.
She's very tallish.
Oh, but Elliot's going to come up too with you, Connie.
Well, you're going to walk.
Randy, bavakasha.
Stay right there.
Yom Huledet
All right, come on
Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach.
Happy birthday. Whether it's your birthday today, Toyasha, or you have a birthday in the month of December, we wish for you not only a good birthday, but a year of health and of blessing, of connection to community, of spiritual growth, of continued learning, of love, being surrounded by love, all of those good things for you in this new year, and we offer you the blessing of our tradition.
In a seasonal mode. No?
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and may God keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's light shine into you and through you to others. May God always be compassionate unto you.
Yisa Adonai v'yishmerecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God and all that is good be present for you in your life. May God grant you shalom, wholeness, peace in your heart, in your community, and may you join with others to bring our world closer to wholeness and to peace. And we say together,
Amen.
and I have some birthday pencils for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you too can have your birthday celebrated here at Temple Beth Israel, first Friday of every month. Come on down. Collect your birthday pencil. The birthday pencil is a joint production of Temple Beth Israel and Mark Feynman, chocolatier Excelsior, no? Chocolatier, what's the French word for really good? Huh? Chocolatier extraordinaire.
Let's sing them out.
1, 2, 2.
Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach. One more time. Yom Huledet Sameach. Come on back next month. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Oh, yeah.
Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. Yeah. So thank yous to Rabbi Kupitz, Cantor Bush, Dr. Randy Povoy at the piano, accompanied by the amazing Shul Band. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, thank you for being here both in the sanctuary and those online. Toda Rabbah to Rabbi Kupitz for leading our service in such an inspiring way, and to Cantor Bush for providing richness in voice and music, to Dr. Randy Povoy for his lovely piano pieces, accompanied tonight by the Shul Band. And much appreciation to Phil Middleton, who is handling our technology this evening. Our Oneg hosts, thank you to our Sharon group of Hadassah, and in honor of a special Yortzeit Memorial Tribute for Gabriel Silton. I know I'm so horrible with names, I apologize. Who generously donated tasty items for tonight's Oneg, and to our dedicated challah team who delivered challahs earlier today. Thank you to all of our greeters. Outside greeters, as all of you walked in this evening, you were first welcomed by Kylie Sykes and Debbie Harris. Thank you. Our lobby greeters, Sharon Satz Regalado, Phyllis Blackley, and the always lovely Judy Rose. I know she's around here somewhere. And last but certainly not least, our security guards and Jack Workshaw, who greeted you in the driveway as you drove in. After the service, we gather in the social hall for Kiddush, Motzi, refreshments, and conversation. Please take this opportunity to get to know someone new, which will help us contribute to build our warm, personal Jewish community. We have a busy and engaged community. Find what interests you in our weekly update, emailed every Thursday, monthly Kahila, and our TBI website and Facebook pages. I would like to highlight the following events coming this week. Tomorrow, Saturday, December 3rd, weekly Torah study via Zoom, led by Mikey Ryan, 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Sunday is going to be a very, very busy, fun-filled day. Kicking it off, starting with JCS at TBI from 9 a.m. until 12:15 p.m., followed by Brotherhood monthly meeting, 9 a.m. in the Beit Midrash, and on Zoom. They plan to discuss medical misinformation and disinformation by Dr. David Quam, MD, professor of Physiology at Loma Marymount University. Then at 1 p.m. on Zoom, Prayer Book Hebrew for adults. Lastly, Bunko at 3 p.m. in the social hall. No need to RSVP. All are welcome to attend. So everyone's going to be extremely busy this Sunday. Tuesday, December 6th, Hartman Institute Series Jewish Practice Foundations for Thoughtful Judaism at 7 p.m. on Zoom, plus many other great events are scheduled for the rest of the month. So please review the TBI Weekly News Blast and mark your calendars for events you find interesting. And also, I'd like to highlight June Reyes. She brought up that Temple Beth Israel will be hosting a blood drive in the social hall on Thursday, December 22nd, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And all of you really amazing donors will receive a Red Cross long sleeve t-shirt. Appointments preferred, but walk-ins welcome. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
So two things from me. One, I want to acknowledge the wonderful contribution of our Shul Band individually. Randy has already been mentioned. Those of you who are regulars know that Randy usually is not our Shul Band pianist, but I've really appreciated his beautiful participation. We have Ed Beardsley on bass and Chris Gacci on percussion. which, if you've been around for a while and have seen our shul band, know that there are a few of our wonderful musicians who are missing. We wish a refuah shlema, first of all, to Al Shapiro, a regular woodwind player who is recovering. May a complete healing come speedily and soon to Al. And also, Reed Gratz, our keyboardist and musical director for the shul band, was a little under the weather this morning, so Randy stepped in to take care of him. And Dana Sundin, who's fine. She's in a concert tonight, so we miss her even in her absence as well. But it's always important to acknowledge their wonderful contribution, even if they're not here. So. One other thing, speaking of music, is that 1 week from this Sunday, right here in the sanctuary of Temple Beth Israel, our Jewish Federation will be sponsoring a Festival of Jewish Music, an annual event here at TBI with musicians and contributors from all over our Federation area who will be here a week from Sunday in person and on Zoom. If you want to watch the Zoom, you'll have to register with the Federation on their website, jewishsgpv.org, and you can buy tickets for the concert there if you're going to attend in person, but they'll also be available at the door. So thank you.
We're going to turn to page 282, middle of the page, for Aleinu L'Shabeach. I invite those who are comfortably able to do so to rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו מכן, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
So a little over a year ago, Gabrielle Silton, an important member of this community in ways that I'll share in just a moment, died. And we were at a time that the pandemic was about to surge. It was surging again, and we scheduled a memorial service and canceled one, and then scheduled one, and COVID surged again, and we canceled one. We thought that at this time of remembrance that we would take a moment to remember her and specifically the ways that she contributed in this community in so many ways. I talked about ladders today, and Gabrielle was a ladder. She was a ladder to the incomprehensible. She, through telling her story as a Holocaust survivor, she helped so many people to be able to understand something in a personal way that, in the vast sense, when you just think about numbers, is so hard to understand. They could understand her story. For many years when I got here, Gabrielle had already been doing this, but she did it for a number of years after I started here as well with Cantor Paul. She met with every seventh grader, usually in groups of 2 or 3 seventh graders, so she'd come every Sunday morning, and she would tell her story and allow them to ask questions and be in a place where she could, in a very personal way, help people understand the horrors of the Shoah, of the Holocaust. You know, she was a teacher by profession, but also by character. She was really a Rav in the great sense. We use Rav as the word for rabbi, but it also means teacher, and it also means something that's important and great. She was important and great, and she would share every year at, not only she would take every opportunity to tell her story, not just at TBI, but in the community all over, the people that needed to hear it. She would participate in our in our Yom HaShoah service here every year, in our Holocaust Remembrance service. She would share her poetry, of which we'll share a piece this evening. She was a prolific writer, and her writing and her poetry will continue to impact people for many, many years to come. She had an incredible Holocaust library as well, which came to our library here at TBI, and the things that we integrated into our collection, and then we found homes for the things that we couldn't use here at Temple Beth Israel, and again, will continue to make an incredible difference. Gabrielle was somebody who made, she was a mitzvah maven in many ways. She did mitzvot. She did things to help others quietly. She never needed attention on herself, and she was out there making sure when people needed things that they had them, that if we were doing a project of some sort that helped people in the community, Gabrielle quietly was always saying, "How should I help?" And you don't need to recognize me. That was very much who Gabrielle was as well. She was a good friend, and a wonderful, and was so blessed in her life to find Meg and to find that they found each other and had a beautiful relationship and partnership and marriage together. Gabrielle had a new life, inner life, that shone when she met you, and we could all experience that. And I'm thinking about our world right now, at a time when anti-Semitism is rising from the right and from the left in American society, and knowledge about the Holocaust is abhorrently low. And I think about how important Gabrielle's mission continues to be, and that it needs to be all of our missions in this world to continue to tell our story, tell her story, and to create a world of never again, not only for the Jewish people, but for all who might face that kind of hatred and destruction. I'm always amazed. You know, Gabrielle was somebody who, again, quietly did so much good in the world, who was able to give so much love in this world. And when you think about what she went through as a young person, as a child, in the Shoah, and coming out on the other side and being able to create a life of goodness and a life of mitzvah. It is truly a miracle of the human spirit. Her memory and the acts that she did, the education that she gave, the contributions to Holocaust literature and poetry, all of those things will continue to make her legacy live. And her memory and her works are truly, truly a blessing. I'd like to invite Cantor Paul to share a piece of Gabrielle's poetry.
Thank you, Rabbi. When we were planning our Yom HaShoah commemorations, Gabrielle sometimes had a very active role. Sometimes it was, especially in later years, was a little less engaged in all of the nuances of planning, but she was always available as consul and always available to make a significant contribution. And in fact, many times we talk about the theme of that year's commemoration. We talk about maybe some of the focus that was being put on in other ways, and she would suggest some possible inclusions when it came time for her participation. And she always gave me the honor of at least having, if not a veto, at least a vote in what was included. And sometimes she just said, pick what you think is right, and I'd be happy to contribute it. And so when Rabbi asked me to do a little research on her writings, all I really had to do was kind of like close my eyes and sit quietly, and I knew the right thing would come, or at least the most appropriate thing would come. And I think this poem called Darkness and Light is her message for us now as we remember her with love and sadness. Darkness and light. Darkness and light are my intimate family. They surround me in their dichotomy and are part of my being. My brother, darkness, my sister, light, both have a Janus head. One face looks inward into me, the other outward. Outside darkness shields me, makes me invisible, makes me feel safe. Outside light helps protect me, bedazzles enemies' sight, guides their eyes away from me. Outside darkness is threatening. Someone might waylay me. Outside darkness is a booby trap. Outside light is dangerous. I am too visible, too vulnerable to attack. Outside darkness is tender. He lets me look at myself in the silence of the night. He helps me think, form words, create. Outside light is gentle. She lets me look at myself in the fairness of the day. She illuminates my thoughts, helps me to recall memories. Outside darkness is fierce. He makes me look at myself in the worst possible way. He causes me to invalidate myself. Outside light is burning. She makes me look at myself without mercy. She causes me to disparage myself. Outside darkness helps me talk to myself in the quiet of solitude. He affects my soul. Outside light helps me accept new insights in the silence of aloneness. She touches my heart. Inside darkness contracts my mind into a P. He hurts my soul and spirit, locks me into numbness. Inside light expands my mind boundlessly. She opens me to peace, heals my soul and spirit. Inside darkness contracts my muscles into a tiny rubber band. He spasms my torso and my limbs, curls me up in pain. Inside light relaxes my muscles, allows me to stretch to my fullest extent. She heals my body. Inside darkness swallows me whole from the inside out till I'm lost in blackness, thick enough to touch, a wet, roiling fog, solid enough to taste, bread baked of cindery ashes. It takes a conscious effort of my will to make him de-imprison me. Tarry darkness lurks inside, walling me off from glowing light, yet always discernible. My brother, darkness, my sister, light, each with their Janus head, are my lifelong companions. From Gabrielle Silton. May her memory be a lasting blessing.
Page 294. On this Shabbat, in addition to Gabrielle Silton, we remember recent deaths of Edmund Joseph Beardsley and Clara Zink. And our thoughts are with you, Ed and Carrie. And I'll mention those who are congregants of TBI. It's not on the list yet because our service is Sunday, but Doug Farrell, longtime congregant, passed away, and the service is Sunday at 11:30 here. We also remember the Yortzites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Goldie Friedman, Harry Friedman, Jack Gohl, Amy Gusman Miller, Shirley Hoffman, Morris Caden, Ellen Forrester, Emmanuel Lewis, Frank Mann, Rose Rosen, David Kay, Bernice Osina, Leo Saffin, Paul Bryn, Zenaida Crespo, Sylvia Kaufman, Molly Paritsky, Janet Brooks, Gary King, Leon Miller, Jerry Ranich, Mark Rhodes, Lillian Sachs, Albert Zipser, Gary Brown, Dwayne Grove, Jeanette Burgle-Bronner, Manuel Blumenfeld, Shirley Esther Konofsky, Evelyn Schwartz, Sylvia Schwartz, Charlie Saul. And if you're remembering somebody on the Shabbat, would like to add a name to those that I've mentioned or restate a name, please feel free to do so as I come by your row. If you're in a time of mourning or observing or Yortzeit on this Shabbat, we invite you to please rise. Invite the rest of the congregation, if you're comfortable doing so, to rise and embrace in support of those who mourn. Again, Kaddish is on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah. Bialma divrach irute v'yamlich malchute. V'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam u'lomei maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal. Shmei dukudasha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shmaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. V'imru amen. Zichronam livracha. May their memories always be for a blessing. And we will conclude on 321, last stanza, Beado.
Be'ado av kiduchi, ve'ein ishan ve'a'ira, ve'im ruchi geviati, Adonai li ve'lo ira, ve'im ruchi geviati, Adonai li ve'lo ira.
My soul I give to you.
My soul I give to you.
My spirit in your care.
My spirit in your care.
Draw me near, I shall not fear.
Draw me near, I shall not
Hold me in your hand.
hold me in your hand.
Draw me near, I shall not fear.
Draw me near, I shall not
Safely in your hand.
safely in your hand.
My soul I give to you. My soul I give to you. My spirit in your care. Draw me near. Draw me near. I shall not fear.
Adonai li ve'lo ira.
Draw me near. I shall not fear.
Adonai li ve'lo ira. My soul to you. My spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear.
Adonai li ve'lo ira. Ve'im ruchi geviati. Adonai li
Your
ira. Please join us in the social hall for Kiddush, Motzi, and refreshments. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Thanks to those of
Shalom.
you who joined us out there on our virtual shul. Thanks for being with us. Hope to see you soon. Shabbat
And I
Shalom.
just want to have a special welcome to our students from the University of Laverne who are joining us today. Please make sure you stay for our little refreshments, and I'm sure there'll be lots of people who will come up and say hello to you and welcome you. Hi, Elliot.